We do make money, and it's definitely nice to have at the end of the month, but it's not incredible money, and it's really not for a lot of people. Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. My name is Kevin, we're in the cabin here, and people have been asking me for a while, asking me and Blue Ridge Mama, my wife, to make an antique booth video again. I haven't made one in a long time. Part of that was because the antique booths were shut down for quite a while, but they've been back open for a while, still haven't made one. And I figured now, since I'm away for a couple days, would be a really good time to make one. Blue Ridge Mama agreed to come on down in a minute and do that with me. So I just want to give you an idea. A lot of people are like, well, this is an extra stream of income. And I want to caution you against that in some respects. It is an extra stream of income, and I don't know that it's necessarily a good fit for everybody. It's a good fit for me and for my family, but not just economically. The economics of the antique booth, the way I do it, our model, is not amazing. We do make money, and it's definitely nice to have at the end of the month, but it's not incredible money, and it's really not for a lot of people. So I kind of wanted to address the money aspect of it a little bit more than we have in the past. I'm happy to get those checks each month. I'm certainly not losing money. I'm making money on the deal, but I wanted to give you a little closer look on how the whole situation works, and maybe even talk about some other models that might work better for you or for other people. And there's certainly people who make far more money than I do doing these booths. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to have Blue Ridge Mama come down. I'm going to walk you through the process of buying stuff at garage sales. Well, not that part. You can see that on Commonwealth Picker. But what I do, I bring it in here, where I put it, how often do I go to the booths, how much time do I spend compared to how much money we make, just to give you an idea if it's something that you may be interested in, or if it's something you really need to avoid, and that'll be entirely up to you. Let's take a look. She's finding stuff. Sometimes she doesn't know half the time what's in here.
All the time what's in here.
So I basically bring stuff in from the car. I park it out there when I get done with garage sales. And I bring, here's the video. Here's John Cincinnati Picker's booth. I haven't done YouTube before John, but I did my booths before John. All right, you like that? Pretty cool. I picked these up. I think I paid $3.33. Got 3 for $10. I figure, what do you think we should put on those? I let Blue Ridge Mama price everything. Yeah, that one's torn. The other two are in great shape. I still think that's sellable though. I was thinking, I don't know. You tell me what you were thinking.
Hot glue it.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. What are you thinking for price? See if it matches 8. What I thought. Okay, I was thinking 8 for these and 12 for these. What do you think?
What is special about these?
Nothing. They're just not ripped. I don't know. It's kind of cool. What do you think? I think they'll sell. I think they'll sell pretty quick. That's my prediction. So I bring this stuff. Can I sneak past you? I bring this stuff and I put it in these 2 bins right here. And she prices the bigger stuff. I price most of the media. And then I come back here and I put them in these 3 bins. We have 3 booths, and I put them in these 3 things right here. We have, this will go to Needful Things, and this will go to Bell Treasures, and this will go to our second booth at Bell Treasures. And I just price things when I have the time. And then Blue Ridge Mama comes in here a couple of times a month, every other Wednesday, I think. And she does some pricing.
And steals what I want.
And takes what she wants. That's right. Sometimes she wants to keep some of the stuff. Do you want to keep any of this?
No, but I saw you put my little patty pan cake things back in there.
These things?
Yes. I stuffed them in here to hide them from you.
Well, you don't need those things. You need to put them in the booth. All right, you can keep them. So that's basically how the process works. Any big items we'll put over here, and we'll just take them that aren't, you know, going to fit. Now, I have a vintage media booth that does pretty good. We make okay money on it. And we're going to take you through the antique booths for just a little bit. And then at the end of that, we'll come back and we'll talk about what items are selling for and basically how much money we're getting for different things. And then we'll talk about whether it's worth it or not for you guys to maybe do the same thing. Or really what I want, and I love doing this, because when we first started doing this, we had a lot of folks that were giving us advice on things that do sell and don't sell in the antique booths. And I'm still surprised every day. And I learn from the folks who do it a lot, and I learn from the folks who watch these videos. So we appreciate that. So let's go to the antique booths, check it out, and then we'll come back here and talk for a little bit. All right, wanted to give you an example of why the booths work for me. So I buy so much stuff and I buy it so quick out there doing garage sales that sometimes you come home and you're like, you know, I don't really want to sell this on eBay. This one had some condition issues underneath here that I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And then there's a couple things about it that I just wasn't comfortable putting it on eBay. But you know what? I want to get my money back at least and maybe make a few bucks for a Coach bag and go ahead and put it on the booth. Although we should probably take these off and sell the tags. Okay. So that's probably what we'll do. I bought this thinking it was brand new because it had a tag, but then you open it up and it's clearly been used and has a little stain on it too. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to sell something stained, and you can't sell it as new even though it's got a tag. So this is one little benefit to having the booth, where you're going to be able to get some money out of some of this stuff, even the bad purchases, because you're not being careful when you're out there doing garage sales. So now most of the stuff we sell I actually buy for the booth, but occasionally we have this kind of stuff. Come on. Straighten them out a little bit, okay? Can you straighten them out for me? And look here, bud, there's some spots up here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. So seven DVDs sold, a couple of CDs sold, and a few cassettes. So we got a little space. So you could put some of the DVDs up here, okay? You got it, Reagan? Unfortunately, I have Sophie with me instead of Blue Ridge Mama because she had to take Reagan to practice today. And normally I do this video with her. She's a lot better to look at than Sophie, right? But Turner's here with us too. So I just want to do this really quick to answer the question, is it worth it? So we're going to work off an assumption that it takes 6 hours a month for our 3 booths. I think it's a little less than that. It's probably closer to 4.5 to 5. But we also have to include the sourcing of the items. But you've got to keep in mind that I would do that anyways. So I'm going to give you just a taste of some of the things we sell in one of the booths and then talk about the other one because I don't have that list with me. So I sell a lot of low-end merchandise. I sell a lot of video games. I sell a lot of cassette tapes and records and that kind of stuff. I even sell old phones, not cell phones, but regular phones, dial phones, or really anything. I sell a lot of ashtrays, a lot of Tupperware. I'm not selling high-end stuff. If I have a $20 item in there, that's really quite a bit of money. Now, the other booth, the other one has a little bit higher-end stuff, but it's still low-end stuff as well. Stuff like you might see one of these little step stools that I pick up for $2 or $3 and we'll put it in there for 20 or something like that. And that's about the priciest stuff we get. Every once in a while we have something really nice. I sell a lot of backpacks, like hiking backpacks, in both booths, but especially the lower end booth. And I can get, $30, $40 for those sometimes. But most of what I sell is 50 cents to $3. Just to give you an idea here. So last month at Bell Treasures, we have 2 booths there. We're selling video games, movies, Tupperware, needles. I don't know what kind of needles those are. I don't even know what that is. Baseball cards. We have CDs, egg timer, ornaments, bottles. I don't even know what kind of bottles there are. Decals, NASCAR stuff, little toy die-cast cars, those kind of things. Sold a couple of pumpkins, some Halloween decoration type stuff. More records, more DVDs, some blocks, a toy airplane, insulators, although most of the insulators I sell in the other booth over there at Needful Things. Ashtrays, there you go. That was a $5 sale. Comic books for a couple of bucks. Hiking backpack, $26. More baseball cards. Camera stuff, I usually sell that in the other booth. It'll just give you earrings, Fisher-Price phone, that kind of stuff. So not some high-end stuff. You want to say hi?
Hi. I already said that.
You can probably see. So we don't want to say anything. So you can get the idea of what we're selling. Nothing amazing at all. Now, just to give you an idea, to work with some numbers here as far as is it worth it. It's all relative to how much you pay. So let's just talk about profit for a minute. And it's hard to come up with that number sometimes. So one, we had a check for $180, and the other we had a check for $110. Now those are round numbers. It's actually a little bit more in one and less than the other. And $110. So we're looking at $290 for the money coming in. So we have to, that's after fees, that's after rent. So we obviously have to subtract cost of goods. So I went through, you all right, bud?
Yeah.
So I went through and looked, and to the best of my ability, I came up with a cost of goods being right at $50, give or take a little bit. Probably give a little bit, to be honest with you. But we are paying virtually nothing for a lot of these items. Things like the backpacks and things like this we're paying for. But a lot of the other stuff is just thrown in as an extra in a deal, or we're finding big lots of things, and so we're not spending much money at all. A lot of these things actually are Turner's things that we sell on there, huh, Bud? Like little Pixar cars and things that he's done with that don't really sell on eBay. Some of these things are things that didn't sell on eBay that we just decided to pull and stick in there. So about $50 in cost of goods is all we have into this 290 check. So that's leaving us with about $240. I'm going to say it's a little less than that. But let's say $240, I think, because the math makes sense here. So $240. Obviously, 6 hours of work to get $240 in profit right there is $40. I think that's a little high. I think the profit margin most months, because the cost of goods most months are a little higher. We didn't sell anything there. The backpack, I think I paid $5 for. And that was the highest cost of goods of anything I just mentioned. So I think it's a fair estimate to say that I'm making about $30 an hour's worth of work that we put into this. And Blue Ridge Mama helps a little bit with the pricing and definitely helps down there as well. So her labor is in here as well. And that's all calculated together. So is it worth it? Well, here's why it's worth it for me. The answer might surprise you. It's barely worth it. And what makes it worth it to me is that my kids get to do it with me and they can learn things with us, and it really is beneficial, I hope, to them and through this process. Now, the thing that really makes it worth it to me on top of that is that I can negotiate prices down at garage sales when I'm able to bundle a lot more. And the third thing that makes it worth it to me is I make garage sale videos for the Commonwealth Picker channel. And it makes it a lot easier to put content on that channel, which I make revenue off of as well if I'm buying things that I don't necessarily am intending to put on eBay, but it's certainly good enough to put in a video. So I hope that makes sense to you. I would say for those of you who don't have an antique booth out there, if you're trying to decide eBay or an antique booth, if you're trying to make money, you need to sell on eBay. It's just that simple. If it's a hobby and you love this kind of stuff, then get an antique booth. But you're not going to get rich with it. And I'd also say if you're out there and you have an antique booth, you know, leave a message in the comments for all the other folks out there who are thinking about it. Whether you're for it or against it, or if you had it to do over again. There's a lot of other factors. A lot of people are buyers and they sell on Facebook Marketplace and they advertise their booths, and that's where they store stuff. And they don't even mind paying a little bit in rent or paying a lot in rent because they'd be storing this stuff away in a storage unit somewhere as they're trying to sell it. And that's definitely a cost without even the possibility of selling it. And high-end furniture and high-end stuff that you can get is definitely worth your time if you don't have the means or the capability to sell this stuff on eBay and to securely ship it because it's too big or it's too fragile or whatever the issue is. So there you go. There's my opinion of it. To be honest with you, if I didn't have the Commonwealth Picker channel, I don't think I would have the antique booths. I think in Q4, it becomes worth it. The money's good. But let me tell you, there's not much money in those hot, hot summer months. So at any rate, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.